Hello, everyone. So, I was about to do my tan routine, and was mid-process exfoliating. That's kind of the scene I'm setting right now. I was watching Lisa Vanderpump on Steve-O, and I got around 20 minutes into it before I go on my Twitter timeline, and I see this from Rich Lux. Let's talk about the H3H3 Ethan Klein situation. Now, if you're on my channel, we posted about this yesterday, right, where we talked about this situation, and it involved Rich Lux because Ethan Klein had a segment on his recent live show on H3, which was called Ethan Klein Hates Rich Lux, or Dan Hates Rich, was it? No, Rich Lux Hates Dan. There we go. It was Rich Lux Hates Dan. Yeah, Alyssa Edwards just here. Wait, I'm pretty sure did I? Hold on, let me Google something really quick. Alyssa Edwards allegations. Maybe I'm thinking of someone different. I think I'm thinking of someone different. I don't watch Drag Race, but I know that there was... Anyway, I don't think it was... Okay, wait. Fake news. I think it was someone else. Anyway, what a shocking start to the video. But anyway, there was this segment where Ethan was talking about Rich Lux and how he regrets getting close with Rich because, Rich is, super fake, and they were making fun of him for, looking like a clown, and basically all these different things. I mean, you can go and watch my video. We'll not rehash it. But anyway, I watched that section from the H3 show on my stream yesterday, and I basically said it came across very just catty for no reason. I mean, Dan has this vendetta against Rich the same way Rich has a vendetta against Dan, because, Rich was very outspoken at the time of the gay scandal with H3, and Dan didn't like that because he didn't like being accused of saying something or acting in a homophobic way. And by the way, can I say something that you can act in a homophobic way, or you can say something homophobic, or you can do something homophobic and not be a homophobe? Can we get that out of the way first? I don't know if people are so, brain dead stupid that they can't put two and two together, but you can act in a homophobic way and not be a homophobe. I don't know if that is so hard to comprehend. You can say something homophobic and not actually be a homophobe. But it's the way that you respond to it, and the way that Dan responded to it was, oh, I would never, ally. And it's like, okay, whatever. So they're still doubling down on that. And then recently, whenever the Ace Fest happened, Rich came into the H3 chat and was like, hey, I'm at, Ace Fest and got kicked out. It's crazy. And then Dan was like, oh, well, I'm going to block you. Don't care what you have to say. And so he holds a vendetta against Rich the same way Rich does with him. I'm not defending either of them, and I'm not here to defend Rich. I'm not here to defend Dan. It just comes across as they're both being very, very, very petty. But obviously Dan has the bigger platform. So, I see that Rich has this video. I scrolled through it like this. We all do this, come on. And I see me. So we're just gonna watch it and see. Ethan Klein won't fire Dan from... See, it's, just so dramatic. You know what I mean? That is Rich. Rich is a very dramatic person. Won't fire Dan from H3 Productions for poor work behavior and other stuff too. Drama. So anyway, we're gonna get to this and see what this is about. Again, I talked about Dan during the gay drama. I never once said that he had to be fired. I didn't think he had to be fired or anything like that. I just think that he should have, just owned that he made a mistake, but the ego was too big to do that, and then the work environment just, defended it and stuff like that. But, at the same breath, Rich is so dramatic as well. Anyway, let's see. Oh, sorry, I'm just analyzing these bags in the back. Anyway, let's get into this.
Well, folks, just got back from Disneyland.
Sorry, you see that I was watching my Lisa Vanderpump on 2x speed. Let's put it back to normal.
And
Disneyland!
Dan,
oh my god.
From H3 ruined my whole Disney trip.
Lunch boy!
So I can't even ride Space Mountain without Dan ruining my vacation, girl. Okay, first of all, I bought the new backpack. I love this one.
That is so cute.
Let's talk about Dan, because there I was, eating my churros, eating my Mickey Mouse ice cream.
Sorry, I'm going to Disneyland in, a couple weeks. And the thought of that Mickey... The thought of that Mickey ice cream?
And I'm getting bombarded. I'm getting all these messages. You're obsessed. You're obsessed with Dan. You're obsessed. And I'm like, what is going? I'm sitting here like, what is going on? I can't even go live on TikTok without people saying you're obsessed with Dan. So I'm like, what is going? I open up my YouTube.
Oh God, it's me.
First thing I see.
Okay.
Adam McIntyre talking about this drama.
Oh!
So let me play.
Why can't I just shut my fucking pipe? Why can't I just keep my fucking mouth shut?
Clip.
I remember that. What happened?
I think it was during the Ace Fest fallout, right? We were talking about how he got kicked out of the event, and I think that he wanted to talk about it, but when it was sent in chat, he said it on the show when it happened. He was like, I just banned him.
I remember you banned him. But
Yeah, all you bitches are to blame as well. Look at your comments on the chat. It's not just me going down this time. It's all of us. All of us. And all of us. The wizard that there is or was. Cut the cameras.
And Dan. I can't stand Dan. Dan blocked me from my favorite show, H3H3. Dan is jealous of me. And let me tell you the drama with Dan. This was last year. Okay, I went to the busted ass Ace Fest. Remember, Disneyland meets Coachella. I went. And when I went to the Ace Fest, Ace Family had a carnival.
We know it well, Rich.
I didn't even make, and I bought the ticket, the wristband to go into the Ace Fest, and they did not even let me in. They kicked me out and escorted me off the property. And the only thing I regret saying, because I was being filmed, I regret saying, wait till H3 hears about this. It's the only thing I regret I didn't say. I should have said that. So then, Ethan Klein finds out that people were getting kicked out of Ace Fest and how of an ish show it was.
Because Dennis was, yeah, chat is popping tonight. Y'all bitches are energized. So, how whenever I do streams mid-afternoon and mid-evening, y'all bitches are quiet. But whenever I do a stream at midnight, y'all are awake. I have to ask.
Oh God. I love how that event was just as bad as everyone predicted.
Even worse, probably. I just think it's so funny to imagine it like that was the thing as well that kind of was like H3's last thing with Dennis, because remember Dennis did that god awful going up at the meet and greet and being like, how do you feel to be a scammer? And I remember making a video and being like, this is so cringe, like Dennis has lost it, like his ego is so large now. And even H3 really didn't care about it. And then I think that was like one of the last things that like H3 really promoted of Dennis. And I think they just watched it out of like pity. But yeah, it's weird to imagine that Rich was there too. I never hear of Rich being there.
And even though he saw how bad it was, he still, Ethan Klein was like, oh, you know, it was a good show. It was a good circus. It was a good carnival. Whatever it was, the Ace Fest. I think Ethan Klein gave them a pass, in my opinion. But I digress. So then, Ethan Klein's covering this up-to-minute drama about the Ace Fest and who was there and who wasn't there and what they had to eat and what was the conditions like and stuff like that. So then, he's live, mind you. So I go in the chat and they're talking about me. And
yeah, they were making fun of him. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, wait, that's important for context. They were making fun of Rich. Well, Dan was making fun of Rich. Dan and Ethan were making fun of Rich on the stream. And then Rich joins the chat and Dan was like, oh, don't read the chat, Rich. And then blocks him. They've equally had a vendetta against Rich the same way Rich has had against Dan. So it's actually not fair for them to put this all on Rich whenever they do the exact same thing to Rich. So
I tip,
Tip, tip, tip.
Lil Hundo.
Hardwood floors. 10, 10, 10 across the board.
and Dan blocks me. And let me tell
Yeah,
you,
and they were like, it's a privilege to chat. And they were like, thanks for your money, though, Rich, because he did a donation.
why he blocked me. Because at that time, and that was like, it's like they're so quick to rewrite history. At that time, and I'm gonna be fair,
Ooh.
Dan said some questionable things, and it got people riled up. And
talking about
he
the gay
defended
thing?
himself, and he said, "That's not how it went down. That's not what I meant by it. That wasn't even the."
Oh, we're talking about the gay thing. Yeah, Dan was 100% in the wrong. Sorry, I don't know if Rich is going to back out of saying that, but I'm always going to double down on that. Dan was in the wrong of it, and he was a little bitch in, the way he handled it, and I'll always die on that hill. I don't have a problem with Dan, but I will always die on that hill. I literally do not have a problem with Dan. In that situation, Dan was in the wrong, and he handled it awfully.
little clip that wasn't even my voice. It was my voice, but not right.
If that's what we're talking about.
It was a lot of situation. It was like a lot. And looking back on it, maybe I was a little too harsh on Dan, and I apologize for that.
Okay, if we are talking about not the gay situation, because people were in my comments being like, no, we're talking about, like, apparently, like, Dan accidentally leaked Ethan's phone number or something like that, and Ethan was blaming Dan, but it wasn't Dan's fault or something like that. And I know people were saying that Rich talked about that. Okay, I do not know about that situation. Don't care. I'm only talking about that gay situation.
But at the same time, I was just so outraged the fact that that was even a part of the conversation. Okay, and then you got that whole thing. Oh my god. This one I thought was past it. Then you got that whole bottom situation.
Okay, so we were not talking about the gay thing right there. Minky said, I am the gay situation. Me too. Okay, so we weren't talking about the gay situation, so we were talking about either the phone number situation or something else there, and I don't care. Leave me out of this. I'm not saying anyone's involved with me, but I'm like, don't care. I'm not giving an opinion on it. I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't even want to talk about it. To me, I've moved on. I passed. I'm over it. Old news, right? So then they bring this up again.
True.
And let me play you a little clip. Shout out to Adam McIntyre. Here we go.
Go.
But them and their subreddit and whatever will harp on that it's us bringing it up. It's us who can't let it go.
Rich, don't cough over me. I'm making a very great point in your defense. Keep that cough in.
Yes! And then it's so funny as well that, like, Olivia, who I absolutely adore, I really, really, really like Olivia.
Sometimes whenever I'm on stream, I forget that my streams will be re-uploaded.
I really like her, and I'll occasionally message back and forth with her on
right here.
Instagram.
He occasionally messages Olivia on Instagram. This is the
Oh
clip.
my god, and then he skips past the tea I gave.
That's where all this beef originated.
Wait, yeah, maybe it didn't have anything
Oh my God,
to do
same
with
water
it,
bottle.
actually. Is that I'm a raging homophobe.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Because I made those videos about Dan, my opinion, because I made those videos about Dan had it out for me. So when I entered the chat, he
Oh my
blocked my
Whiskers, thank
fat
you so
ass.
much. Thank you,
Blah.
Whiskers.
His own personal bias just blocked me. And this is why I was so angry. Because Dan, and I said this last year and I'll say it again, it is the Ethan Klein show. It is the H3 show. It is not the Dan show. So who are you?
I'm gonna be honest. In terms of all this, I don't have a problem with Dan. Like, I have a problem with, like, a certain, situation that happened. I talked about that. I moved on from that. I made a video on it in the moment. I moved on from it. The only reason I brought it up again yesterday was because Dan brought it up again. That's my only thing. You know what I mean? Like, I, enjoy watching the H3 podcast. I enjoy a lot of Dan's commentary. I enjoy the dynamic of the podcast. I mean, I already said that I love Olivia and stuff like that. And people were commenting on my video yesterday and being like, oh, here we go again, your attitude towards H3. And I'm like, bitch, I still watch H3. You just have this weird idea of, like, you can never call a spade whenever you have an opinion of something. And I don't know if that's just you being, like, really, don't know, but like, whatever. But I'm gonna call a spade a spade. If I have a situation that pisses me off, I'm gonna talk about it. I didn't talk about it again because it was irrelevant. It was brought up again by them, so I brought it up again.
To be there blocking people without Ethan's permission, because you're in there blocking good paying subscribers. Just saying. And there is so many people who agree with me, and there are also so many people who agree that Dan is the queen. You can't do nothing wrong. Dan is the queen, right? And Ethan Klein will be loyal to his employees. So Dan could just do no wrong. Instead of being like, now Dan, that wasn't nice. Now Dan, you shouldn't have done that, Dan. No. Hold on, I'm getting receipts right here.
Is this a planned bit? What is... I swear to God, if this is a planned bit.
Fire down hotlines. Rich Lux can help you.
Is this a bit?
No, Dad's not available right now. I'll take...
I thought that was a bit. I thought that was a bit.
the message.
Or I thought that was like an actual call. Wow, that one got me.
Who's this? Moses?
Okay. Jesus Christ.
One S or two S's? I'll be sure to pass that on. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Okay.
Minky, thank you so much.
Apparently he has an assistant named Moses.
Thank
So
you.
check this out. I feel like Dan blocked me over his own personal bias. And
Thank you,
then
Minky.
I made a tweet. You know, the mouth of the South. I made this tweet the other day, and I'm going to show it, and I will back it up. I will back it up with receipts, right?
Uh-oh.
So, you know, it's Dan's job to moderate.
What'd you say,
and
Rich?
do that whole gig, but you shouldn't moderate well-paying customers and stuff like that. Let me find the receipt, because it's down here. It's down here.
Oh my God, his text
And
is
apparently
huge.
Dan got so upset. Okay, here it is. So I put this right here.
Another reason Dan from H3H3 needs to be fired. Not to mention he blocked me after I donated $100 in the chat last summer. Dan ruined the show for me. Can't wait till he leaves. I'll be throwing a party with pizza and like balloons or something like that with a Trisha Paytas impersonator. I mean, yeah. The thing is, here's my thing. Rich's tweets and stuff like that are never things that I would do. I also haven't been blocked by H3. I also didn't, donate money to them and be blocked. I also didn't get made fun of on multiple streams over many months by them. Having one now and then having one, at the Ace Fest time, like over a course of months. So I'm not going to speak for how Rich handles something because, I mean, he does get made fun of by him and their audience and, made by them. So he can do whatever he wants. So I'm not going to defend him. I'm not going to praise him. I'm not going to do whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not in his position. So, if he wants to do this, he can do this. Sorry. Like, they are making fun of him. And he's fine to do whatever. Again, would I be like, Dan needs to be fired, whatever like that? No, because Dan is part of the show and that's how the show works. However, they do make fun of Rich and have a couple times, and Rich can do what he wants. I don't think any of us have to be like, ooh, bad Rich, or yay, Rich. Grow up. So I look at this tweet and I'm like, alright, I wouldn't have tweeted it, but I also haven't been made fun of at the extent that publicly H3 have to Rich. So Rich can do what the fuck he wants.
And I said, another reason why Dan from H3H3 needs to be fired.
Do we agree? Do we agree? Do we disagree, chat? I would like to know. Okay, we agree. For real. Alright.
Not to mention he blocked me after blah blah. This is why.
Okay.
Because in this scenario
People
right
agree.
here, it says, I just tagged you, and you can see Ethan Klein's phone number, and it's blurred out. And then, of course, Ethan's gonna defend and stuff like that. You can see.
Oh, so Rich is talking about when Dan, like, apparently leaked Ethan's number. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care about that. The only reason I don't care about it is because it's like, it wasn't my phone number.
The phone number. Ethan's phone number is part of the membership's subscription. And I was thinking, like, oh, wow, like, you're actually gonna dox your boss? Like, Dan's slacking. Dan's slacking. He needs to be fired. There's another reason.
I'm gonna be honest, at the same stage, I understand why Rich has a vendetta against Dan. Like, Dan always fuels or is, like, guided to fuel the conversation when they're making fun of Rich or when they're, you know, dogpiling on Rich or something like that. So, like, I understand why Rich always goes after Dan. You know what I mean? Rich is making this video in response to, you know, them bringing up Rich in a recent thing. And you could argue they were bringing up Rich because Rich tweeted about Dan. And then you could argue that Rich tweets about Dan because of the way Dan treated him on that previous episode. And that was completely unjustified, how he acted towards Rich and the Ace family stream. That's what all of this has stemmed from. So here's what I'm saying, right? Stick with me. Rich made this video in response to them talking about Rich on the recent H3 episode. But they only talked about Rich on the recent H3 episode because Rich tweeted about them. The only reason Rich is on Dan's ass tweeting about him is because on the Ace family stream, Dan, for no reason, Dan even acknowledges for no reason, blocked him and made fun of him. So this all goes back, sorry, to Dan. If we're gonna do the wheel of fairness here.
It needs to be fired. It's the H3 show, not the Dan show. Do I think that Dan is homophobic? No, I do not think he's homophobic. I think that he might have said something that was to raise a brow. If I can, all the damn Botox I have, I would raise mine. But, you know, I think he apologized and you know, we're moved on and past it. I don't think...
That was ages ago, though. Did Rich just want to poke the bear a bit for funsies? I mean, I'm not going to dunk on someone for holding a grudge. I hold a grudge against many people in my life.
I think that at all. I do not think Dan's homophobic.
I don't know.
I think that some of his
I'm not
jokes
defending,
might be
I'm not
for
sticking
taste,
up for, I'm just
but, you know,
observing.
That's the pot calling the kettle black, because God knows I've got my share of drama. But listen, you're on the internet, Dan. So you're gonna be called all these things. People are gonna come for you. Got more. Damn it, Moses. I don't know what you're talking about.
I love the normalized holding a grudge video you posted. Yeah, on my second channel, which I don't really post on. I need to start posting on there more. I actually have a vlog to post on there. I posted a video called Normalized Holding Grudges, and I just, like, ranted for, like, a while, like 40 minutes or maybe 30 minutes or something about, like, why I think we should normalize holding grudges, and I give a couple of examples. I recommend checking that video out.
It comes with the game. I don't think Dan can take the criticism, right? Girl, I've been dragged through the mud. I've been called transphobic, homophobic, misogynistic, you name it. Done heard it all. You've been on the internet for 10 years, people are going to say all these things about you. My only critique, right? Again, a year later, I'll apologize to Dan, and I'm still blocked from my favorite podcast, all because I made an opinions of stuff that he has said on the podcast, things that went down. It's all over the internet. And let me just say this. I wasn't the only one who made videos. There were other people who made videos too.
I made them.
About Dan's behavior.
I made them.
On the show.
I made them.
I think that Dan's lazy and he needs to tighten it up.
I didn't say that. What I did do was make a video on the gay situation. I think I made like 2. And I was pissed off. I think that's the only time I've done it, though. And I didn't say anything other than that.
He needs to tighten it up. And this is just speaking from a fan standpoint who watches the show. And there are many fans who watch H3 H3 who have a cause for concern. Like, I remember back in the day, Ethan Klein's late again. The show's supposed to start at this time. Why isn't the show starting at this time? Ethan Klein's late again. Like that, you know, people get upset. And then you got the other side, well, you know, Ethan's sick, or he's a baby. You know, there's always that. But I'm just, you know, I feel like Dan could do a better job. And there are other people who are probably well qualified for Dan's position. But I'm just saying, that's my opinion, whatever. I'm just shooting the breeze. And if I said anything wrong, I apologize for it. If Dan wants me to delete the video, send me a message. I'll delete the video.
For context, Dan, if you want me to delete my video on you, I'm not deleting it. Sorry.
I make video every single day for the past 10 years. Sometimes 3, 4, 5 videos a day, depending on the hot topics. Back when James Charles pedo ass and all that stuff. But anyways, all that to say this. Once again, here we are talking about it, and the community forgot about it. See, what happened now is that because of this show, the can has been opened again, and people are like, well, what comments did Dan make? What is this? And now people are all talking about it again. And here we are. So anyways, hopefully I can enjoy Universal Studios tomorrow, Super Mario Land.
I feel like Rich's ass is always at fucking Universal. I'm so fucking jealous. Fucking hell. I am going to Universal in a couple weeks, though. But his ass is always there. Why does he get to go all the time? Pisses me off.
Without any disruption. And let me know what you think about all that in the comments down below. I would really, really like to hear what you guys have to say about that. And I just want to end the video with thank you Vance Global for sponsoring this video. One of the best gummies, CBD, HTC.
What? Where was the sponsorship? What? Anyway, okay. Let me condense this to like my final takes on it. So here's the thing. Rich is obviously hurt because a big part of the community in which he is in, which is, you know, H3 and their fan base and the Reddit and, you know, all that different thing, there's a lot of crossover because, again, you know, Ethan really, I mean, for a period of time, I mean, grew a huge audience off of the wave of frenemies, which was people that enjoyed just drama. So there was a lot of crossover with Rich's audience, obviously. And I think that, you know, that definitely has to have affected Rich's, you know, career in some way, the way that they talk shit about him and the way that they, you know, made the jokes about blocking him and they don't care what he has to say and stuff like that. So obviously he's pissed about it. Obviously he holds a grudge. I'm not going to judge or promote or agree with or disagree with or whatever anything that Rich does in response because I've felt the H3 wrath on different scales. I haven't felt it whenever they're like flat out just like making fun of me. So I don't know how that feels.